so just hit the recording, just say we're waiting a few minutes, or time, say time is.
I'll tell you what, Megan, give me 1 second, let me make sure that the live stream is working. Got it, yeah, we're good. So yes, if you'll please hit record up there.
In 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever.
Do you want to text?
Maybe text 3 who weren't here and just ask, make sure they remember.
Did you guys have a good Christmas? Are you super happy to be back in school?
To routine.
Message on
You're not giving me much hope.
Ready to go back.
Seemed they were coming.
No, we found out my dog had to have his second ACL surgery literally the Tuesday before Christmas. Yep.
What kind of dog?
You know, everyone asked me that. He's a mini Australian Shepherd. He's not even, 20 pounds. And this is his second one. Second in 3 months. Like, the first one was September, right before we started school. And they have to be in a crate for 6 to 8 weeks with a cone on and a sling.
Oh, poor kid.
3 months later, on his birthday, actually, we found out he had to have a second one.
Same leg?
What's he doing?
The different leg. I don't
A
know.
different leg?
So he's torn both of them. I couldn't tell you.
Kaylin said she's on her way.
Leon says she's on her way.
I bet that's not cheap.
$4,000 is what it's costed. I'm not even, yeah. $4,000 is what I've had to put into this Heinz 57 dog.
Have you thought of other options?
You know what Brent would say.
That's what my husband to the floor. I just hate it.
I'm not saying anything.
I know. I thought about getting
I have to have surgery, and I hope it doesn't cost me $4,000.
I thought about doing like the little cart thing, where they just.
Oh, yeah.
So he couldn't move it at all? Or he couldn't really walk or anything?
He could, but like if he would kind of tweak it, he would just sit down and he would stop and he wouldn't go.
Well, we had a pig that hurt its leg and it just drug around for about 3 weeks and then it just started walking again. So maybe. It's not show pig anymore, but.
What's the dog's name?
His name's Kobe.
Kobe's very important in your house, isn't he?
Yep, as of right now.
How's he feel about incarceration?
He hates it. He's torn off his sling, and those things are $20 to replace. This little fabric thing to go over his leg.
Can you put a cone on him? Or?
Oh, he has one. He'd rather choke than have it on. He pins the cone into his hip so that he can bite it enough where it'll come off. and I'll pop it off.
Determination.
Yep. We've gone through like 4 of them, and finally I said I'm done. If he pulls out a suture, he pulls out a suture. It's his own fault. I don't know what else to do. Yeah. Yep.
So your Christmas break has been awesome.
It's been fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't give me any hope. I start student teaching on Monday.
Where are you?
Berkeley.
In the first year?
That was Chanel Pettigrew.
That is. Mm-hmm. They used to be at Morrison. Very, very long time ago.
I think so. She has been at Ripley for, I think she said 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah, it was a really long time ago.
You said Dustin.
No, it's hard that first week coming off of a break. It's hard for us, it's hard for the kids, it's just hard.
So they started today.
What he told me.
And she was like, don't come this week.
So,
It is a repetition and procedures.
yes.
She said,
Don't worry about it.
Getting back into a routine and it's hard.
Marnie's the one that texted me just now saying that he's stuck at work.
Marty did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Dustin.
haven't heard anything from him.
I had basketball practice tonight, but I didn't go, so I don't know if they were there or not. I heard somebody's heart beep. Maybe it's Kaon. That sounds promising.
Yes, please.
Hi.
All right. Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna get this started so I can hold the baby. Call to order, roll call and establish quorum.
Megan,
Here.
Renee. Here. JC.
Here.
Keon.
Here.
Dustin. Marnie. Courtney.
Number 2, consideration and action on consent agenda. A minutes from November 2nd, regular meeting.
And I move that we approve the minutes from the November 2nd meeting.
Megan, did you second? Yes. Renee.
Yes.
Megan.
Yes.
You said what?
JC.
And Can I help you? I can skip 3, right? You don't have anything to remove?
Right.
4, public appearances, petitions, communications, and personal appearances. Under Oklahoma law, the board members are prohibited from discussing or taking any action on items not on today's agenda. Eric?
Yeah, I mean, that was just.
5, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding spring sports leagues. Eric?
So got with the baseball from Morrison. Joe got back to me. They're looking to start signups. We'll probably start tomorrow if we want to do the league. It's going to be, they ended up getting teams all the way from here to Ponca City. So they're going to divide it into 2 halves, the north and the south. The south will have Guthrie, us, Ripley, Morrison, and Glencoe, I believe. Maybe Perry. I kind of forgot whether Perry's in ours or not. And then the north is going to be like Newkirk, Tonkawa, Ponca City, Red Rock. So there's going to be quite a big league. I think it's going to be really, really good. We'll start signups and they'll end at the end of January. Try to get them started tomorrow. And at the end of January, and they're going to be doing everything from T-ball all the way up to 12U. So that would give everybody in our town an opportunity to play with the T-ball. They're going to make it even smaller. Like Guthrie will do their T-ball league. We'll pick up Ripley. in our league, but it's going to be through that league, which is following OK Kids rules, and it will be. So that's kind of what I have on the sports side of it. Financial side of it, it will be pretty beneficial for us because we'll just be paying to put the teams in the league instead of. It's like going to be $50 for the teams that want just to play, and if they want a chance to go to regionals from this league, they can go to regionals, then nationals, then World Series if they get that far. To get into those tournaments, they'd have to pay an extra $25 a team. So I think in the long run, it would be pretty beneficial in that cost for us to just put them in the league, and then we could just do shirts for pre-K, for our pre-K teams, and then like the older kids, they're going to probably want to get their own jerseys anyway.
I thought we were not doing the T-ball part of it.
Well, this is what they're offering is the T-ball. I would like to do the T-ball. I'd like to hear your guys' side of it. But I'm just kind of laying it out there for you. So.
Where, like, what's the game situation? Like, are all games played at one central place, or do we get to have home field?
Home and away.
Do
Yeah,
what?
it'll be home and away games. They weren't super clear on the T-ball, whether they would just be all here in Perkins and Ripley will join us, or if we might have to play one or two over in Ripley.
Okay.
I did not get a clear answer on that. And
So, I mean, for T-ball, it would be either here or Ripley would
Yes.
go.
That's not super cool.
That's what they told me, is they were just going to keep us with Ripley and we wouldn't have to go super far. And they want the teams registered by February 1st in the OK Kids. So if we can get everybody signed up, get the teams all together by the end of January, we can get them registered, and then they'll get a schedule out to us by February. And the games will start in April.
Will people be able to like put in a full Perkins team? Or they'll all sign up and just be put on a team?
I was going to let them sign up, and if they request their coach that they want to be with, put them on that team. Or if they just want to come in at one time, and they'll just have to fill out the individual forms, but they can put the team in themselves.
I can't remember if we talked about this before, but do we have a player limit per team? Is that part of their rules? Like you can only have.
It's gonna follow the rules they have. I have not got that one. That's a good question.
Because I just don't want it to be like T-ball where we had like 15 kids on the team or however many, and that
Yeah.
was part of chaos on that end. So
Get smaller teams.
yeah.
I might be in the minority, but I don't know why we need to join it with T-ball when we have enough teams to just do it ourselves like we have been.
Well, we had a team from outside last time, so it would add another team in, as in Ripley.
But if we don't need to travel, even if it's just to Ripley, I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't just have those games here.
I think it would be good for us to get all the kids involved in the leagues, since it's a league that hopefully we can keep doing if it works out. And I mean, it's going to be our first time trying. It's the first time this league's getting together. They're wanting the T-ball teams, because if not, the Ripley T-ball team will be traveling even further to other places if they don't have the teams down here. That's what they were asking, if we could make sure we have the T-ball teams as well.
Well, and if that becomes an issue with other people, I mean, I'm sure we could request that we have games here.
Yeah, even with T-ball, with us having the most teams, most of the games are going to be here. So that's kind of what my thought would be on it.
What do you guys think?
Oh, I will say another rule that's going to affect more of our older kids that they were very adamant on is not letting any travel ball teams in. Of like, I know some they mentioned were like the Stillwater Stars or something like that, not letting those teams in, the ones that come in. and then end up taking players from the league to go play their travel ball. So they have some rules on that as well. So
Like the A's and all that won't
yeah,
be.
the A's, some of those teams, that was kind of something they talked about in the meeting, is those teams always come and take their players and it ends up ruining some of the leagues like that. So that's kind of part of their focus as well, is try to make this league last for a long time, not just be a short term, let's try it and hope it works.
Right. And you said it was $50 sign up fee across the board, for like t-ball, softball, and baseball, if they don't want to go to the tournaments, or is it 75?
So it's 50 a team if they don't want to go to the tournaments. If they want the chance to actually go to the tournaments afterwards, which they would still have to win our league and win our tournament, because they'll have a tournament at the end. They're looking at doing 10 to 12 games for the season, so more games than what we were able to provide. And they are looking to having an end-of-season tournament, which they're planning on playing games in certain locations. They're thinking about using Perkins for part of the tournament, so we would actually have that tournament fee. They are not letting us charge gate fees except for tournaments, as what their rules are going to be on that. So during a tournament, though, if we had one down here, since we have more fields than some of the other teams that are around our area, it would be a potential for door fees as well as concessions and stuff like that we've been running. So
It's 50 for the team, but then so like when a kid signs up,
yeah, it will still be 50 for the kids, and then because the rest of that money will go to like chalking the fields and maintaining those for the league games and stuff like that, and also paying the umpires.
So it's, I'm sorry, just to clarify, it's $50 per kid and $50 per team?
Well, we would be paying the team's fee to enter,
Okay.
and then the money that the kids are paying would be used for hiring the umpires, getting the chalk and maintenance equipment that we need to maintain those fields.
so a portion of everybody's $50 basically would go towards the team's fee.
Yeah. So,
I would still prefer to keep the T-ball here. Like I said, I might be the minority, but I just don't know what the benefit necessarily is in asking people to go out of town if we don't know for sure that there wouldn't be out of town teams when we have that many kids signing up anyways. Other than the fact that we've got to put it together. But we've always put it together. So that's, I think for the 8U, 10U, all of that, 12U, softball and baseball, I would be good with all of that, but I would prefer to keep T-ball here.
Oh, you mean just like the games are here,
Yeah,
or the
choose
league? No, the league.
Our own league and not joining a league for T-ball.
Okay.
Like I said, and I might be the minority, and that's totally fine. That'd be my preference.
I mean, my 2 cents, I mean, I get what you're saying 100%, but if we're just going to Ripley and nowhere else, and it might be like a game here or there, it's not every game, and the games were like not late where people are like having to, I know it's just 10 minutes, but having to come back late with pre-K and kindergartners, I mean, I think I would be okay with that if my kids were in kindergarten, like
I
pre-K.
think the not knowing for sure.
Yeah.
That's where
But that's where I was saying, like, I think that's something we can maybe put in there and just be like, hey, we don't mind putting T-ballers in this, but we would prefer, like, or we want all the T-ball games in Perkins. It's more, you could even find it that it's more of a central location for other towns.
yeah. Yeah, I could ask on that. I have the lady's number. I can give her a call and see what they're thinking. Because originally, when I went to the meeting, that's what they said, is they were just going to do small areas, like Guthrie would have their own. Ripley and us would be together. Morrison and Glencoe and Perry would be together. And that's what they originally said. Now, our second meeting was when we had when we were supposed to have our last meeting, so I wasn't able to attend. But but I can give her a call and ask on that.
Don't we have to decide that though, if they're starting signups tomorrow?
Would that be something we?
I don't see how we could not decide if we're gonna advertise that.
Yeah.
Can you,
I think the biggest thing that you would need to advertise is the difference in the rules. Because now you're talking about not the rules here where, you know, everybody gets to bat and things like that. Now it's, okay, kids rules. So I think maybe just, I don't know how to put that in a flyer, but just see if you have enough T-ball teams that want to do that, then that's great. But if they don't, then, you know, if they still want to just do the league here, then we could still.
I don't know if we would have enough.
But
if
I
we
don't know.
started dividing into
Start
two
splitting.
different.
Yeah, but I don't know. But that to me is the biggest thing. Now you know,
But I do agree.
it's two
with-
different rules.
That's, like, I do agree with that,
I
like,
don't know if that would.
we are more like a fun league where everybody plays, everybody gets a medal, everybody, and that's not what that's gonna be. I don't know.
But I don't want to, you know, divide the kids. But that's just what it's going to come down to is
Yeah.
if they want to do it or they don't.
would you be interested in taking a short recess while he calls whomever with your questions so he can report back and a decision could be made tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go give her a call and see if she.
Yeah, T-ball rules, I think
Motion to make recess.
It's been a long time.
They leave that thing going.
So.
No, you can pause it or stop it or whatever.
Exactly. But I don't know
How
how
did-
different.
And then I'm trying to go from memory. The T-ball rules is different from coach pitch rules.
Oh, yeah, don't be discussing what the
Oh, sorry.
agenda deal is.
Uh,
I don't want to get you in trouble.
not,
Okay, can I ask a different off-subject question? Is Jean still?
No, she resigned. She had applied for a job at OSU prior to our job. And the OSU
I
job,
just
that
wondered,
person-
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that person left, and so then they offered that job to her, so that's what she wanted. Sorry.
I was just being nosy.
Yeah, you can be busy, sure. Oh, it's really silenced, not just pretend silenced.
Blakely's gonna be coming
You figured it
in
out?
at like 7:30 or 7:45.
No vibrating
She's
or
supposed to sit out there.
Makes sense. Right.
This is at church. I can't go get her, so Carly is gonna
Drop her
drop her off.
And I was like, hey, can you make sure you go get the kids?
I have kids everywhere tonight. Lainey had Blakely had cheer till 5. Lainey had basketball from 5 to 6 at McCutcheon's gym. Dang it. 5:30 to 7.
You went to Phoenix and back
I
really
did,
quick.
it took a long time. And Blakely's at Baptist church. This one, and this one.
I'm not tested.
This one, and that one.
That's good. You know, when Jack's bleeding in the backyard, he won't be able to text me anymore.
It'll be my fault.
About this, I guess I could. The other question I guess we should ask is the ages for T-ball.
that's what I was gonna ask. It says it, and how it's listed, I don't,
I didn't even
Go
think
out
about
there.
that.
Yeah,
That's gonna
yeah.
be-
It's right here.
That's a good idea.
I have it on my phone.
Oh, you have it?
Okay,
That's what I was looking
Oh,
at.
okay.
It's co-ed for
4, 5, and 6. That's a big difference.
That's why I said that,
Mm-hmm.
because it's been a long time.
How old's the baby?
1 month. Yeah, 1 month and today's 4 days.
Sleeping all night?
No, yeah, kind of. Yeah, he's up by 5, sometimes 4:30.
I
Did he let you know when he's hungry?
Oh, yeah, he
He's hurry up, Mom.
He's been on weight a lot. He's gained about 2.5 pounds.
That's weird. You just-
That seems like,
A lot.
yeah.
He eats that much. I was telling my cousin, her son is 6 months, and she's like, "How much is he eating?" I was like, "He's eating now, so they're 5.5 ounces." She's like, "Oh wow, my son just stopped. He just start eating 6-7 ounces." I was like, "Well, let's do that now."
Gonna be a big boy.
Yeah, so I'm having to take the shakes and stuff so to catch up with him or keep up. You put that. All right.
Let's all play with our phones.
My neighbor guy hadn't been cleaning up those trees yet, Bob. I'll send my letter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can send a, did you send a letter?
I didn't, because I was going to see if he really started, but there's been no progress.
Well, I can,
So I will. I thought I'd do that on Friday. I got a letter from my insurance on that, the house that's next to that one and it's at 316 Kenworthy. And they want me to, that one over there, I need to get any algae off of the siding, any, like junk or debris out of the yard. Crazy, absolutely crazy. And I went and looked because I was like, well, it doesn't look bad from the front. And around the back, on the back porch, they do have a mattress sitting on the back porch and like, I mean, some stuff, but not like, can you believe that? I called the insurance guy. He was like, it's one of our friends, and I was like, what in the world? And he was like, I know. He said, I think we just got a person that was in a bad mood that day or something, because like, I've never seen anything like that. One of them said we needed to get a vine off the house on one of the houses, that rock house over on First Street. Which it's not even a vine, like it's a weed from the ground that's just like kind of growing up by the house. Like it's like a tall weed. I was like, well, I mean, I can do that. That's just stupid
That's
to be
surprising.
on
I
there.
didn't
Like
think they
what
could
in
do
the
that.
world?
That's weird. That's really weird. I didn't know the insurance people sent
I didn't
people out
either.
to look at your stuff.
I know.
We had to put railing on a porch one time, and literally they were fine with us putting a 2x4 across the beams.
I mean, I've had houses way worse than those. And they never said anything about
I don't know what conversation I'm walking into here.
You,
They just talk about houses, because
So.
we talk about Park and Rec.
Talking about house. So,
just call the meeting back to order, I think.
Yep. 7:30.
you turn it off.
Okay. All right, back to order. Call to order, roll call, and establish quorum.
They would have to do that
No,
again.
just back to order. We'll be here all night if we start.
All right, end of recess.
So yeah, after talking with her, it's probably gonna be better for us to, do our own league. They were actually looking at expanding it. They were thinking 16 teams throughout the whole league. they were thinking about doing a north and a south like they were with baseball, but that's going to be a little bit more traveling than I think what we were wanting to do. If we don't get enough T-ball teams, say we only get 2 or 3, they're perfectly cool with us entering the league late. So if we don't end up getting enough T-ball teams, which at least based off the fall, I'm sure we'll have more in the spring, but based off the fall, we have one from Kearney. They will not be participating because they're going to their Lincoln County League. And I know we had a couple kids that were near the age border, so I don't know if that will be enough to knock us down a whole team or if that will be enough to where we'll be. So, but they did give us an option if we want to join the league, because we don't have enough, we are more than welcome to join the league. So T-ball do its own league, and then we'll do the, I guess, is everybody good with the Tri-County League for it? They're calling it Tri-County because it was already established in OK Sports. It's a little different than the old Tri-County, but it was kind of the registered name, so they just took that name and they're using it for the league.
There used to be the Tri-County North that we played in.
Yeah, it's the same. I think they're expanding it a bit more than what it used to be. And they're just retaking that name because it's already registered. And so, yeah, that's my thoughts then.
Okay, so do 8U, 10U, and 12U through the Tri-County League for baseball and softball. Keep T-ball here,
Yep. Unless we don't have enough teams, and then
and then if we didn't have enough for our own league, then to do that. And then, so I guess we need to make a motion to do that, but before we make a motion to do that, do we need to talk about soccer?
yeah.
Because
So
it's included in the same.
yeah, that's also in spring sports. So looking at soccer, with baseball practices and stuff going on, it'd be a very, very short season if we do it, to get it in. The other issue that we may run into is parents not wanting to pay double fees to play baseball and soccer. That's just kind of my thoughts on it, because we'd have to probably start sign-ups as well tomorrow. So that would be that's kind of just a concern that I have, is are we going to get enough for soccer? Because from what I've learned about the town, everybody's going to choose baseball. Baseball, softball, that's what most of the parents seem like they would choose. So that's kind of what's your guys' thoughts on that? So.
I would like to do soccer. If we're not doing T-ball with that group, I don't see why we couldn't start soccer, do soccer, and then sign-ups kind of towards the middle of soccer and push back our T-ball just a little bit or something. I don't know. If we're doing our own.
I'm definitely in the minority on this one, so, I mean.
I would like to do the signups at the same time, to where if we don't have enough teams,
Yeah.
we can enter T-ball into the other league.
Okay. I see.
Because they do close their league, and we wouldn't be able to enter too late. They'd give us a little bit of exception, but they're starting their practices at the end of February, beginning of March for their league. The biggest concern is I would see is practices, and unless we play soccer down the hill from the T-ball fields, would be the overlap of practices and the soccer games.
We used to do it outside the T-ball fields, right?
It used to be
Well,
in right
Was
field.
it on it?
When soccer,
Okay.
when soccer used to happen, it was in the outfield.
The basis.
And they did it, at least from my understanding, I don't know if spring soccer was done before or not. My understanding is they did flag football and soccer, and they used the same field.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used
Sure.
the T-ball field.
I was
Right
thinking
field.
that we did softball in February and March, and then did T-ball in April and May. Is that wrong?
I think it
Yeah.
was
I think,
flipped.
yeah,
I remember it was really cold during softball, or soccer.
soccer. Soccer's in
I think that's what I meant to say. Yeah, it was cold during soccer.
I mean, we could do it. I mean, there's an open field down there at Peters Park, like along Timberline. There's open space out
Well,
there.
I don't think people are gonna do 2 sports at once.
That's my
They're
biggest
not.
concern is,
But I do think we should offer soccer at some time.
well, I'm wondering about in the fall, do we go back to flag football? And I don't know if this is too off topic for the meeting, but in the fall, go back to flag football and soccer, and maybe not do the fall baseball, or that would be my suggestion, my thought on it. I just don't know if we're gonna run into too much going on at the same time on the limited amount of space that we have, that it just gets overlapped and congested, and just gets to kind of a point of being too much going on at the same time. I mean, we do have 5 fields, but if we got practices on every field and trying to schedule soccer, if they wanted to practice and have games, it would be, so.
I don't think we can do it at the same time.
No, I think it's a little crowded. So that would be my thing, is in the fall we could go back to soccer and football, which use the same fields, so it would be a lot easier to schedule. We could paint the same fields for both flag football and for soccer. And then all you got to move is the goals on and off the field.
What do you guys feel about that?
So are you saying like for fall, don't do T-ball?
I might say, because fall, we have baseball in fall too.
Right. But for this fall, we didn't have enough teams to do baseball.
Yeah, we really didn't have much for fall ball, so we could go back to doing flag football and soccer in the fall and not do. Are we a little too off topic for this?
Because you're really talking about fall now.
We just need to figure out if you want, what do you want in the spring?
Okay, so we need to just focus on the spring.
If we do the soccer, I would say, and we get enough kids to do, they'll be playing the same team over and over. I don't think we won't have enough more than to do anything more.
I'm worried with baseball and t-ball that even less kids would sign up than what we could get if we add something to the next agenda and talk about it for fall.
I don't think we can have that all at the same time
Okay.
and do it well.
Okay. So look at doing, I'm adding something to the agenda for next time for fall sports. That sound good?
Yeah.
So we need to make a motion on that.
So, not on the adding of fall sports, but we do need a motion on what we're gonna do in spring.
Okay.
Can we move it? Can we also try it in the summer? What? Soccer?
I don't have any idea. That'd be.
We can.
I don't know when soccer season is.
Maybe. But
I mean, we can.
not much goes on in the summer, and that gives us some good because we can push soccer.
I mean, yeah, that is a good idea. Like we could push
That way,
soccer from spring like to like end of school year, like beginning of summer, before it gets too crazy hot,
yeah.
and that opens up summer activities for parents to get their kids in.
What are the dates for T-ball? Or is that what you're getting ready to set?
Well, I don't know.
I would say t-ball, we would just do it at the same time baseball's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T-ball.
Like we could still start T-ball signups in the next week for here, and then practices could start March. Games would start in April. Like,
You're gonna sign up now?
I mean, that's
It doesn't matter to me, I just,
Well, that's what we
Same time.
normally don't, but what he was saying is if we didn't have enough teams then they could still sign up for the
Tri-County.
Tri-County.
a lot of people.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that many teams. The only thing I could see is if we do signups now and then, but nobody's doing anything to March, that's a long time for people to say, well, I don't wanna be on that team, I wanna be on this team, and things
So-
to start getting jumbled up.
My solution for that would be have them start practices right towards the second to last week of February.
Oh.
And even if it's cold, they can just cancel practice, but maybe they can get together and start to meet their team. And I think that's what the league is doing as well, is they're starting.
And these are teams that's gonna be getting, doing regionals and everything, right?
Not for t-ball, because
Not for
we
t-ball.
wouldn't be in that registered league. So
If we're starting them at the same time, we're gonna have to start practices.
yeah, we'd probably have to start practices either way right around the end of February.
Yeah.
That way it gives them about 4 or 5 weeks to get some practices in before they have to play games.
If we were able, and it kind of depends on weather a little bit, but honestly, if we were able to get our T-ball league pretty much over by the time school got out, it really does make it a lot easier than going into the summer.
And I think if we start in April, that would give us 2 months which I mean, our T-ball in the fall didn't even take 2 months. It was like a month and a half.
When's the last day of school?
May 19th.
That's what you got to
It's
know.
usually around the 12th or 13th.
Not that you're.
But I do have a date that to not have T-ball games, like one night.
I can remember
Say what?
those years we did,
It's,
it
it's
was,
the elementary like spaghetti dinner.
yeah, I was gonna say, it was hard to play right around like high school graduation time, that week or so, because there were so many spring events happening.
But it's like very early April. Is the proposed, but
Six.
that's just like one night that
Sixth,
It's
maybe?
usually a Thursday night.
is, if we could not have games.
So the league is looking, like the league itself is looking at scheduling games on weeknights. So I think Thursday would be open for them to schedule it.
Yeah.
But we could maybe not do our T-balls on.
That's what, yeah, just if we could
And even
not.
if we couldn't do that, I mean, it's always been a thing. Like, people come over, they walk over to the elementary, get there to go spaghetti, and then go back to T-ball. Like, it's not a huge.
Suggest that.
Yeah, I can call up to the school and figure out that date, and we can just either not schedule games that day
Yeah.
and still play on Thursdays, just not that Thursday.
Yeah. But I think it's usually like that first or second Thursday of the month. I think.
Like April 6th is what maybe.
Okay, so I propose to go ahead with the Morrison League for, what is it, 8U up?
Tri-County League.
Tri-County League, sorry, the Tri-County League for 8U and up. T-ball will stay here. We'll get signups going this week. Signups will start, you said tomorrow for Tri-County, right?
Yep.
And then if we don't get enough T-ball teams, we can still sign up late through Tri-County for T-ball, right? So I propose to move forward with that.
Okay.
I second.
All right, number 6, consider.
Sorry, can you give me just a second? I have to write, and then I have to call the roll. Call our names. Casey, that was you who seconded, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Megan?
Yes, sorry.
Renee? Yes. Casey?
Yes.
Leon?
Yes. All right, number 6, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding movie in the park event.
Okay, so I have some news on what we can do for movies in the park. I have a gentleman named Jonathan Tinney. I was looking up his name because I forgot it. But so he, I was reaching out to one of the old DJs that our past Parks and Rec directors have used for the Valentine's Day dance, or the Sweetheart Dance. And he also does movies in the park for public city governments and stuff like that. I'm going to try to meet with him sometime this month to get more information. What he talked about is they do it through T-Set, so they'll come set up the big inflatable screen. We would have to buy the licensing for the movie, whatever movie we're going to show, but they come set it up, all that. And then the only requirement they had is that we're running a concession stand and offer our normal concessions. We also would have to offer fruit because of their T-Set affiliation. But it's something that he's done for a couple other small towns and stuff that don't have movie theaters, where he'll come set up a movie in a park. I think that's something after the meeting, I'd have more information on what we would want to do, and then we could figure out dates from there, if we want to do it before season, or if we maybe want to do a baseball movie after season. Or he also has deals where he sets up, you can set up maybe like 2-3 movies a year on different days. So it's something that I'd like to talk to him a little bit more and see, I got referred to him from another DJ, because he also does DJ. We'll get to that on the daddy-daughter dance part. So it's kind of one of those where I'd like to get a little bit more information from him before we kind of go forward on anything. It sounds like a really good company that he works for that sets up these movies. So basically his job is he does DJs, parties, stuff like that, weddings, parks, events, stuff like that, but he also does his company also does the movies in the park type thing. So he has experience with it, and I think his DJ price seems reasonable. So he hasn't really told me what the price would be for that. But they like to work with governments and stuff and normally give us decent deals to see if we can do that, especially if we can set up maybe one or two. And we could try just doing one with them, and if it works well, then maybe we can set up another one. If it doesn't go well, then maybe we can try somebody else. So that's kind of what I got on that.
So there's like a fee for him to do that, and then we have to buy the licensing?
He talked to us. He wasn't really clear. That's why I'd like to meet
Okay,
with him a
yeah,
little bit more.
okay.
He didn't really make it sound like we'd have a fee for him to come set it up, but we would have to pay the licensing fee for the movie, which can be anywhere from like $200 to $500, depending on what movie it is. Sorry, Bob. But
I mean, honestly, like if we offered concessions through that, I mean, there's.
another thing that he does too is he creates sponsor slides for the movie. Like you're at the movie theater and you see all the sponsors come up. He can create sponsor slides, and we could possibly look at getting sponsors to sponsor the movie in the park.
You don't have any cost information on this yet?
Not quite. That's why I'd like to get more information. This is just some of the stuff that he's kind of told me, but we got to talking in it was just a short amount of time. He wants to actually set up a meeting this month.
So we really just need to table this one till the next meeting.
That's what I would go for.
Move to second or anything about with tabling. I don't remember.
You
You
can
just take no action.
Just take no action, and then we can just put it on the next
Yeah,
agenda.
just move on.
All right, no action. All right, number 7, consideration, discussion, and possible action to appoint a chair/coordinator for the daddy-daughter for the daddy-daughter Valentine's dance.
And this one is just appointing a chair for a small committee to assist with the daddy-daughter dance, help decorating, stuff like that. So I guess it would be, does anybody want to do that?
What? What? Okay. So what date? That's.
That's the next question.
Is there a way we could talk about?
You can move to item 8. You can say, we're going to move to item 8, and then we can come back to item 7. That's perfectly fine. I just have to write down the times. That's the only thing.
Okay. Well then, let's move to item 8 to talk about the date and time, and then we can come back to 7.
We just have to read item 8.
Okay. So line item 8 is consideration, discussion, and possible action to select a date for the daddy-daughter Valentine's dance. Sorry.
So talking with him, and he's a DJ, and I've called one or two others that were either booked or can't do it for other personal reasons, and they led me to him. He's busy on the 11th with another daddy-daughter dance, so I would propose doing it on the 18th, which is that following weekend after Valentine's Day. He is available for that day as a DJ. Valentine's Day kind of falls in the middle of I think it's Tuesday. So it's kind of either Saturday I think would work.
Would it be possible to do it on a Friday?
Just from what I've seen is it's always been on Saturday. I think Saturday might be better just because more parents will be off work and be able to, because I know people take it very seriously and get all dressed up and take fancy cars and all that good stuff, that it might be easier for them to do all that on a Saturday. So what's the day? Yeah.
That's also a long weekend. The 18th is like a long weekend. I think they're out.
And it is free for us,
Yeah, they're out of school.
and that weekend is available at the Vassar Center. I've actually reserved both weekends because I knew we would talk about this.
Hold on, I'm making sure it's not on here or something.
I don't think we should do the 11th. It's the Perkins local livestock show that day.
Do the livestock shows.
The lifestyle.
Or you could do it that day and I will not be there. That's fine too.
Okay, so here's my next, I don't know. My next question would be like, does it have to be at the Vassar Center?
Where else would we do it?
Well, maybe we could talk to Oak Park, because they have a bigger facility to hold more people. Only reason I say that is because every year previously, it doesn't matter if we have split it in ages, we are pushing capacity.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. I mean,
severely pushing
yeah.
capacity.
That's
So,
one thing that I was gonna,
we could
I
maybe
guess we're
talk.
going back and forth on that, aren't we? We gotta find a date and.
Yeah.
I know, well, that's why I was
I
like
know,
asking, because
I
we
know.
brought up that we haven't reserved.
Money, it's expensive.
Oak Park is? Oh, see, I don't know.
Didn't know that either. Whereas the Vassar Center does not cost us to use.
And that's fine, like, if we do it the Vassar Center, we may just look up at maybe, I don't know if we wanna break it up even more than the two different groups.
I was gonna suggest even not doing it by age group, you just buy tickets for your time, cause like, I know, like last time, like, we were, like, split between two groups on ages. So then it was, we just took Lainey to the later one, and none of her friends were at that one, cause they, you know what I mean? I would say just sell tickets
Well, the
to
times.
each times
You could,
until
We
until
could
they were
do-
full, and it'd be a mixed age
We
group.
could do like little stamps or something too for each time, so it's like, not necessarily run them out, but like, okay, you were at this time, blah.
Cause they all do tickets, or
Yeah.
their ticket at
6 to 7 some
What,
day.
wasn't there a break in between?
Yeah, there was like a 30,
Yeah.
it was like a, we had a 30 to 45, yeah, we had a 30 to 45 minute break between the two, just so we could restock food and all the things.
That explains why there was a break.
That makes a lot of, that's a good idea. And we can just order two different kinds of tickets.
That way you're not splitting families apart really on ages.
Yeah, just sell the tickets for the time and not for the dance itself.
Do you need two or three times?
They need 3 times.
I know that first year, like,
Show up to this.
like that first year we were
It was a lot,
over, because we didn't have it and broke up, it was just,
but I wasn't inside of there, but I was outside of there. And
it was
it was crazy.
You do a Saturday, you could do it earlier. I mean,
Yeah,
5
we
to
could
6,
do-
6 to 7 or something.
I know the first one started at 4 and it was 4 to 6, and then the next one was 6:30 to 8:30. So we could even do one earlier than that if we wanted to do like 2 to 4, or we could go later. Either way,
Like a 4 to 5:30, a 6 to 7:30, a 8 to 9:30. Is that too late? Maybe. I don't know. On a Saturday? Maybe not.
what's the normal? Like, what's the oldest kids that normally show up to this? Like 3rd grade, 4th grade?
No.
no, we
High
had
school.
high school.
There was middle school and high schoolers.
Yeah,
So we could make it. If you do that late one, you might have more of the middle schoolers and high schoolers go to the late one that stay up later anyway.
yeah. So what you have, what, 4 to 5?
Maybe like 4 to 5:30. And then like maybe like 6 to 7:30, and then 8 to 9:30. I mean, even my 7-year-old could make it to 9:30 if they're out there dancing. I
Yeah.
mean, on a Saturday, you know what I mean? So I don't really think that's too late.
That's fine.
As long as like the board is all fine with
The
it.
only thing I would say on that is the DJ charges, I wanna say it was, he would, I have to get the number for sure. I wanted to say it was 300 for 2 hours, and then after every hour was $100.
So,
And so that's where that could be a little much.
I don't think you can go any shorter than an hour and a half.
So we can't do.
No, I think an hour
Can't
and
do a playlist.
an hour and a half is a good time.
I mean, we probably could, and with all the LED lights and stuff that people have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if some somebody knows somebody that has good playlist.
See, $500.
Not me.
We might make it one up.
Well, I think that's something that the chair or coordinators could decide
Yeah, then that's what I would
once we got the
want to
price
chair
and decide.
Yeah.
with a committee, and they can get a couple.
So do you want to select the date?
Yeah, I'm good with, are you guys good with the 18th?
Yeah.
Alright, so to select February 18th for the Daddy Daughter Dance.
Should we go ahead and say the times or no?
Limit yourself, so maybe,
We can wait for the,
Yeah, we just put
like, you
date,
don't have to
so,
vote on
Okay.
times.
yeah, we'll have the chair and coordinator, or the chair/coordinator and their committee make the decision on times, I think.
Was there a second, and I just didn't hear? A second?
I can second.
Awesome. Okay. Select a date. So Megan? Yes. Lene?
Yes.
JC?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, so we need to move back to line item 7. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to appoint a chair/coordinator for the Daddy Daughter Dance. Any thoughts?
I don't mind help decorate everything, but we'll be here. Nobody that's wrestled will be there. High school will be at regionals and we'll be at state. So I won't be there, but I don't mind decorating.
Yeah, we can, I mean, if somebody's the chair, on the what?
Did you book it the night before, February
No, I didn't,
17th?
so I'll need to do that.
Yeah, that
Okay.
way they can go decorate the night before if they want to.
Okay, yeah, I'll get that done. So yeah, we can have someone be the chair, and then, I mean, as long as we don't have more than 3 of you on the committee, anybody's more than welcome to help. We just can't have 4 because of the quorum. So,
Let's have 3 co-chairs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a thing.
I'll be,
That's the thing.
I mean, I definitely don't mind. So you, me, and Kayon? JC, do you want to decorate?
I can.
Is that
can
what
everybody,
That day.
can there be more than 3 there to help with the event?
As long as you're not discussing business.
yeah.
I don't
So
mind helping with
we
anything.
can
Just-
plan, 3 people could plan.
I think this is more about the planning, and then you could,
Yeah, the chairperson's gonna be more
Other
about
people can
planning.
help
as
carry.
long, yeah.
And then we can even get some other volunteers to come help out with the decorating. This is more of the chairperson to help with the planning.
Alright. So I make a motion that Kayon, Megan, and I can all co-chair it.
I second that.
Alright?
3 would be fine, right?
Yeah.
Unless JC would like to.
I don't care. I just don't want to be the head of anything.
We do have another one of these chair coordinator things coming up.
Now, will they be there?
I'm sure Marnie will be there with Gentry.
Yeah.
Dustin. He's a daughter.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, bear with me one sec. Lene, Megan, did you second?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Y'all ready for me to do the thing? Megan?
Yes.
Lene? Yes. JC?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright. Line item 9, consideration, discussion, and possible action to appoint a chair/coordinator for the spring sports concession stands.
Same concept, it'd just be someone to help lead, like finding people for the concessions. Because if we have multiple games going on, we have to make sure that we have people at both concession stands. And we would also be able to give that person, look at giving them one of our, getting them on our charge account at Williams to help buy concessions as well.
Is it?
That's a
know.
pretty big job for someone to do all of that.
Well, they'll be in a chair and we'll make a committee underneath them that will,
Okay.
we'll section it out with a couple people in different parts is what I'm looking at doing.
Okay, well, here's my question for the chair. We have someone that has already
Yeah.
done this and has, I'm assuming is still on the
Courtney
approval.
is still on it, and she was a big help in the spring at doing it. I would nominate her, but I don't know if you want to nominate somebody that's not here.
I kind of want to since she's in Brazil.
Yeah, keep
There's you four are here. You can make that decision.
Work, schmirk.
Sorry. Yes.
Second.
I had to put in-
Can I like go out and check on Blakely for half a second? Am I allowed to go out?
Yeah, you're fine. You're not a hostage. You can leave anytime.
She's texted me and said, I don't know if I'm in the right place. She's sitting right there.
Oh.
Can you not hear us?
Okay, well, then I want to appoint Courtney to be chair/coordinator.
a second.
Sorry, Courtney.
I'm liking this.
I hope she's listening.
No, she's not.
She's not anymore.
Not for life. All right.
Megan?
Yes.
Lene?
Yes.
JC?
Yes.
Yes.
I should have said no so she wouldn't have got mad at me.
We'll all still help her. All right. Number 10. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to appoint a chair/coordinator for the sports equipment exchange. Eric.
Basically, it's just another event if we want someone because we've always had discussions on this event and never really gone anywhere. If we can appoint a chairperson and I can sit down with that chairperson and we can actually kind of plan the event is what I'm looking at here. And what we want to do. And if it's just one of those where we have the coaches come pick up equipment that they need, or if we have people, hey, if you want to bring your equipment today, we're going to do just a small little event. And it's just kind of getting a chairperson that I can sit down and talk, and maybe we can even make a little bit more out of it than, because this is one topic we've had that's always just gone back and forth, and we don't know what we want to do. So that's why I'm thinking if we get a chair and we can get more organized.
So is this for the coaches to get their equipment, or
This would be for
the kids to
this would be
exchange?
kind of figure that out because we've always had that discussion. Is it going to be
Okay.
coaches? Is it going to be kids? If we get a chair in there on how we want to do exchanges, this will be how we can maybe come up with something.
Like families trading equipment.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Like doing a day, or if the chairs finds the people that need to exchange equipment or that need equipment, then it can get back to me.
JC's looking down.
I was thinking of Aeon because I know you've been.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah.
And say either that, the other thing is moving that with that movie in the park event, putting those
Yeah, and I think that's something we could
together.
discuss if that's what we want to combine that event with the movie in the park and do a big day of it. I think just we've just been all over the place with this. I think if we appoint a chair and have more structure, we've just been every time we've talked about this, it's been all over the place, so.
All right. Well, I say Kaon should be the chair. I appoint.
You good with
And
that,
nominate.
Kaylin?
Yeah.
All right, I'll second that.
Megan?
Yes.
Lene?
Yes.
JC?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, number 11, consideration, discussion, and possible action to appoint Joe Harvey as the City of Perkins representative to Tri-County League.
So Joe is one of our coaches. I think most of you guys know that. He is already on the board. They had elected him to be on their board. So he goes to all the meetings and stuff. It would basically just be him appointing as our go-between. He's been one of the ones that's given me most of the information about the league. So I went to the first meeting. I wasn't able to make the second. He did go to that, and that's when they appointed him as they want him on their board. So I think he would be a good representative for us as Perkins. For the people that don't know him, he's very involved in baseball. He ran our baseball camp. Baseball is his big passion. I think he would do wonders for us as that position. And he's already volunteered to do it if we decide to vote it.
So I'll make a motion to appoint Joe Harvey as the representative for the Tri-County League for Perkins.
Second.
Before we do that though, like I don't have a problem with that, but I would like this, if he's going to be representing the Perkins Parks and Rec Department, I mean, I would kind of like to see him be part of the department, like the board, like have some type of role with us, if that makes sense. Like what
To report.
like I feel like he needs to be a part of the board or the department in some capacity if he's going to represent us. I don't know how to make that happen, or if that's something
Is
we
he
can.
eligible to serve on the board, and is there an opening on the board?
Cause
See, I don't have any idea.
he wouldn't be representing the board, he'd be representing just that sport, or just that league.
What's your name?
Yeah.
I mean, I
There's
don't.
not an opening on the board, and the board is established by either the charter or the code.
Yeah.
I can't recall which, but it's,
It's in the
Oh,
charter, but
it's-
the code specifies the number in there.
yeah, so it's not like we can just
No.
add a person to
No,
the board.
I figured that, but I just didn't know, like, I'd just like that to be mentioned. Like, I don't mind that, but like, I think like, however we need to do it, like moving forward, like in the future, I feel like whoever's gonna represent Perkins or whatever it needs to be,
Yeah.
they need to be a part of whatever department in some capacity, in my opinion. I mean, again, I don't mind. I don't know him, but every time I've had anything to do with him, he's been great, so.
Perhaps Eric could just encourage him to attend your meetings.
Yeah, I could get him to start coming.
Coincide with the Tri-County meeting.
Like have a report kind of at the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay.
like verbal, yeah.
Yeah.
I could see if he's doing that, just have him maybe type up a report, even if he can't make the meeting, I could just bring it.
I'm sorry, I did not know who made the second, but I know there was one. Okay. Yes, Renee? JC?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
All right, number 12, consideration, discussion, and possible action to appoint a chair/coordinator for fundraising activities. Eric.
Same thing, kind of getting a person to help more coordinate with me, if we want to do any fundraising activities or anything like that, that we can present that information to the board of what we want to do. Someone that would be able to not only help come up with ideas for the event, but also would know people to bring in to help run, because a lot of events like that, we're going to need the volunteers to run it. And so that's kind of, we can leave this one up. I'll let you guys decide if you guys want to take action on it and vote on somebody, or do you just want to leave it up for a discussion when we have more people here?
I would say not to have a chair for fundraising as a whole, but kind of like you did on the others, just have a chair for specific fundraisers, or if someone has a fundraiser, to put it on there. So I think that could get to be in a lot for somebody to carry out all of those things. And I also don't think we want to get into the same person asking the same people to do things every time. I mean, I know I don't want to ask the same people over and over and over and over again.
That makes sense. Like every event that we decide to do, appoint a chair for it.
Yeah, and maybe at, like, just on the agenda each, I don't know if we can do it each time or what, just, you know, does anyone have any fundraising activity to bring forward or something? I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
No, I agree with that. 'Cause I
I
was,
think that could be a lot
I think it'd be
for one person to
Yeah, so,
be doing everything.
well, and with these chairs, it's not gonna just be them. I'll be working with them as well. And then we can find people to help out with the certain areas. But I think, can we just, is it no action that we would take if we don't wanna?
If they don't want to make a
They don't want
motion, then it's just no action. But I made a note of that you'd like to have that agenda item.
Can I talk about the one fundraising thing? Because I asked you about that, but it's not.
I think we could, as if, this is under fundraising activities. I don't remember if I brought this one up with you or not.
I don't remember.
Would that be too off
Maybe you
topic?
could talk about it as in, I wonder about a chair for this XYZ fundraising activity that I was thinking about. Perhaps you could discuss it in that way.
I would be willing to, or I would like to look into doing like a, kind of like a pledging amount, if that's possible, and I would be willing to chair looking into that. Because I think I need to probably talk to Rachel and see if that's something we are even can come up with, and then I can bring it to the next meeting. So what I'm talking about is like maybe sending out something where people can, I know a lot of like organizations and stuff do that, like a letter we can send out where people can say, I would get, you know, give $10 a month, and it like automatically goes, then we kind of know where we've got money in future months.
I did talk to you about that a little
Yeah,
bit,
you
because I
did.
remember it
You
now.
asked me if they could do it like
Um,
online.
So the issue would be, if we were doing it online, it'd have to be like a check every month. 'Cause that's how the credit
What
card
I
company
was
works.
thinking actually is the ACH thing, and that's how most of them do it. They sign a thing. Like basically, I mean, our church does it, Young Life does it, there's a whole bunch of them that do it.
For like a direct deposit type thing where it just comes
Yeah,
out
so
of
they
there?
don't do anything except for at the very beginning when they sign the form and fill it out. You just take that to the bank. It's kind of the same way you would set up like a renter's automatic draft. And they put an end date on it, so we would just do it for a year. That would help us to know, like, okay, we know for in September, you know, for every month we have this much money that's gonna be coming in.
I think we'll just have to talk with our accounting software company to see if we have the capability. We do it for utility billing.
Okay.
We just need to talk with our software company to see if we have the ability to make it work in the software.
Okay.
That's all I'm thinking right now.
And the reason why I'm looking at that or thinking about that is I feel like that would maybe get some people that aren't businesses, that are more like families, and it could be lesser amount, but it's still, that want to do things and want to give but can't do $125 to be a t-shirt sponsor or this. They could do $10 a month to Parks and Rec. And then we also kind of know that we've got this much coming in this year each month. And then our other fundraising on top of that.
We could do that. We don't have to do that online.
It wouldn't have to be, but it'd sure be a lot easier.
Easier.
Because most people aren't, if you don't, then some people aren't gonna bring their check that month. Or
Yeah.
we're gonna be chasing people to try to find that. Or if I gotta bring something somewhere every time, I'm a lot less likely to
Yeah.
And
do it.
doing the t-shirt sponsors, Lene was a big help, but it was one of those where we did have a few people. Most of them, we got the t-shirt sponsors in, but there was a few people here and there that we had to chase down and drive out to their business and be like, hey, you said you were gonna do.
Online. They just do it from
Yeah,
bank.
it's
to bank.
really from bank to bank.
That's what I'm saying. So we wouldn't need software information.
We would just have to be able to track.
Be able to Put it into our
For
software.
auditing purposes.
Okay.
Yeah, so like right now, how it works with utility billing is you come in, you fill out your thing, you give us a copy of your voided check. Every month, when we bill that utility billing, then there are steps in the utility billing software that says, goes to the bank and says, here's what all these people owe, and then the bank sends the thing back. What I gotta figure out is, how would that work with Parks and Recreation? Because we don't have a billing component in Parks and Recreation right now, so it's a little complex, and I'm not saying it can't be done at all, I have to talk to the accounting software people, because otherwise, the bank won't know what to give us.
Gotcha.
And if that won't work, it might be, I mean, I would rather it be that way, but if that wouldn't work, then it might be worth looking into, could we find an outside person that would be willing to do like a Friends of the Parks thing, and then a Friends of the Park donation. And I don't really like separating it all out like that, because I think that's kind of a lot of a headache to do that too, and kind of gets it separate, but if there was no way, then maybe that's something we could look into.
I guess I can talk to Jennifer, but what does the Friends of the Library do?
Well, that's a
With that,
completely.
or is it something
Do you
different?
wanna explain how that works?
No, that's way off topic.
Okay, oh, you're right, thank you for
Never mind.
keeping me on track.
So, all right, well, that's all.
Well, you could be appointed as the fundraiser coordinator for the,
I would not like to be,
for the
for that, yes.
Yeah. whatever-
The pledging event.
pledge project or whatever you call it.
Okay. So how would
Well,
we,
you don't have to.
how would we motion as far as like the chair overall? Just do a
Just do no action.
no
You
action?
can just do no action, and Lene can come in and visit with us, and we can try to figure out how to, see if we can make it work, then bring it back.
Okay.
So I say no action on number 12. Number 13, new business. Under the Open Meeting Act, this agenda item is authorized only for matters not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the time of posting the agenda or any revised agenda. Okay. No.
Mother, son, dance will be no business.
That's, I think we're gonna do that fall.
Okay.
We're gonna do that fall. Okay. And then number 14 is adjourn.
Be here.
We're gonna make a motion to adjourn. Right?
Still? Yeah, I think so, till we get the edict that we don't have to anymore.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Hopefully, 3 don't vote no.
Someone still get a second.
Do I have a
Okay.
second? Megan?
Yes.
Renee?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Yes.
Turn off the recording.